everyone, welcome back to our homeschool table. My name is Jerilyn. I have 3 kids ages 9, 3, and 9 months old. I am a former kindergarten teacher, and this is my 5th year homeschooling my oldest daughter. Today I am going to be showing what is in our morning basket for term 3. I like to follow a Charlotte Mason style schedule, and that includes having 3 terms of about 12 weeks each. We are getting ready to start our 3rd term for the 2023-2024 homeschool year. We split our morning time into 3 different sections. So the first section we do is breakfast and Bible time, and that lasts anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. We usually start at about 9 o'clock in the morning. The second section is our science and history, and we do that after our morning chart and chores. The 3rd section that we do is our morning time, and we have our hymn and then poetry. Then we do one of our loop subjects, which are nature study, artist study, geography, and composer study. And then after that, we have a character lesson. And then last, we have recitation. And recitation, we use the schedule from Ambleside Online. And we are doing year 4, term 3 currently. Okay, so for the first section of our morning time, we do breakfast and Bible time. And that starts at about 9 o'clock. So for that, we have our ESV Bible. And right now we are finishing up our Easter study. This Easter study is from Where'd You Learn That? Which is a homeschooling mom that's here on YouTube, Rachel at 7 and all. And the first 3 weeks of this study are before Easter. And the last week is for after Easter. So we are going to be doing this the first week of April. We also use Daily Life at the Time of Jesus. And this is a great book that has maps, pictures of different objects and places from Jesus' time. And in Rachel's unit study, she tells you exactly which pages to read each time you complete a day. So that's what we're using for breakfast and Bible. We are going to get back to our Faithipedia, and we're going to be starting Job. We are now on week 15. This is scheduled for 36 weeks, but we just use it a little bit differently. So next we're going to be studying Job, and it takes you through the books of the Bible in the Bible order, not in chronological order. But we really like this, and it gives us lots of good information about different people, and also different terms that are used in the Bible, as well as names of God. So we really like our Faithipedia. This is the Old Testament. So after we have breakfast and Bible time, we switch to doing morning chart and chores, which is just getting ready for the day and doing the different chores that we each have. So my daughter does her chores and I do mine, and my little 3-year-old, he helps out with a few things as well. After morning chart and chores, we come back, and our next subject is either science, which is on Mondays usually, unless we have our poetry group that we go to, then we move everything over a day. So we do science on Mondays, and then we do history on Tuesday and Thursday, and we do our history read aloud on Wednesday. So that's all in my weekly checklist video. So if you are wanting to see kind of how we schedule our week, that's a great video to go back and watch. And I'll link it above so that you can see that. So for science, right now, we are doing marine biology by The Good and the Beautiful. And we've been really liking this. The new science units, they're a little bit more condensed than the one we did previously. These are just short lessons about different topics for marine biology. When we pick back up next week after spring break. We will be on the marine mammals lesson, which is lesson 11. So we are almost finished with this unit. There are 12 lessons total, so we only have 2 more left. But we are really enjoying this, and we are also going to be looking at the last book. So we have read The Ocean Floor, and we have read Dive, which is exploring coral reefs around the world. And now we are going to be reading Dangerous Sea Creatures, which I think my son, who's 3 now, will really enjoy. And last, this is not a Good and the Beautiful book, but we really enjoy looking at Usborne books quite a bit. And so we just go through a little bit. Usually I find something that's related to whatever we are reading for that day. So that's a great book to have. And then for my little guy, we have the Usborne Look Inside Seas and Oceans book. And so I think he'll really enjoy looking at this book when we do our science. This has lots of flaps and different things to look at, different pictures. We really like this book. He really enjoys flipping everything open. So I think he'll really like this book to go along with our science. On days that we do history, we are right now going through the landmark history of the American people. This is volume 1, and this is part of, right now we're using Bookshark, but normally we're using Sonlight. I just borrowed this set from a friend for level D. But we are going through this book, and right now we are about halfway through. So we will be picking up at chapter 11 here in this book. And then as we get to the parts about the Constitution, we have the Constitution of the United States, and we have the Bill of Rights, Why It Matters to You, and we have If You Were There When They Signed the Constitution. We went to a day called Capital Day with our homeschool association, and they gave out some Constitution booklets, so we will be using that. Currently, our read aloud that goes along with our history is The Witch of Blackbird Pond, so we will be finishing that up. We just have a little bit more here. And after that, we will be starting Johnny Tremaine. I've always heard about this book and never read it myself, so I'm really excited about this one. We'll see if I can get through it a little bit faster than this one we have been reading, it seems like forever. The next section is Morning Time, and I pull materials from Ambleside Online, and so the next few things are recommendations that they have. Those subjects would be poetry. So this year we have studied 3 poets. We're just starting our last one. The first one was Alfred Lord Tennyson, and the second one was Emily Dickinson. And now for term 3, we are going to be doing William Wordsworth. And in this book, at the very beginning of each new poet, there's a section that tells about the poet and about the time period. And then from there on, it just goes into different poems. I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of bright out today here, which is very welcome. So that's poetry. The next 2 books are geography. So we are using Elementary Geography by Charlotte Mason and Home Geography by C.C. Long. And so in these books, I follow, right now this year we are working on the year 1 and 2 sections, but we kind of just go the next lesson on the next day kind of thing. But we alternate, so geography we do 1 day a week, and we do nature study using our Christian Liberty Nature Reader. This is the book 3 because we started this at the end of 3rd grade. And we aren't going through this in order. We kind of skip around based on which creature my daughter wants to look at next. So right now we are working on the fly section. And so the next one is how to look at a fly. And so this just has lots of information about different creatures. There's photos sprinkled throughout, and we really enjoy this. We do this once a week. So we do geography, nature reader, and then we do an artist study and a composer study. So for artist study, we have a couple different things. The first thing is the Usborne book of famous artists. I got this a few years ago at a book fair at the school that I used to teach at, right before I started staying home, and I knew I would be using this book. So I got famous artists, and so I just like to put a little tab for our next artist this term. We are going to be doing Claude Monet, and this is not it's not the current artist that Ambleside Online is studying right now, but I just kind of picked ones that I knew and that I thought my daughter would like. So for now, that's kind of how we're going about artist study. But this book just has some information about the artist, and then some examples of their art. So that's the Monet section. And then I'm also using the art prints that a friend of mine is part of a Charlotte Mason group here locally, and she is actually in charge of the artist studies for their co-op. So she has already done Claude Monet before, and so she graciously let me borrow some of the art prints that she had from that. So we have several different pictures, and these are the pictures that you can get access to through Ambleside Online, and you are allowed to print them out. So these are the prints that we will be using this term. And these look really beautiful. They're printed on kind of a matte finish cardstock. So those will be really nice to use. And so I just keep these in a folder in the back of my morning basket so I don't lose them and so that they don't get bent. We are doing a composer on Maurice Ravel, and so this is the Meet the Great Composers book. I actually got this at our local homeschool resource store. They sell used materials there, and I picked this up knowing that we would be doing some composer studies. And so in this book, it gives a little, here's Ravel. It gives the story of that person and where they're from, and then just some important information about them. And then a little activity page. On the Ambleside Online website, you can find the schedule for all of the composers that they're studying this year. And so we have been using that. Along with the composers that they're studying, they also have links to all of the different pieces that they recommend that you listen to from that composer. There's usually about 6 or 7. And then it will also link you to different photos, like the ones that I showed you, that you can use in your homeschool. So that's been really nice. We do character next. So we alternate a couple different resources for character study. So the first one here is Character Trails, and this is written by Marilyn Boyer from Character Concepts. And we have also used their program for younger kids called Crossroads to Character, and we really liked that book as well. So this book, it has different character qualities So for instance, if you flip to availability here, you'll see that it has the character statement and then the scripture that goes along with it. And then there are 3 different sections. There's in the Bible, and that has a few pages. And then in history, and how that character trait has been helpful to somebody in history. And then the last one is in everyday life. And they often have pictures of their grandkids, which are really cute. I actually got to meet them at our homeschool convention last year, and one of the grandsons was traveling with Rick and Marilyn, and so it was kind of fun. He's actually right here on the front of the book, and he's in high school now, so it was kind of cool to see him. That is character trails. So we just do one section at a time. So these 2 pages. And then the next time we would do this page and this section. So we just go through this little by little, and then we hang all of our character cards back here on our wall. So these are all the things in my morning basket for term 3. If there's anything that you saw that you have questions about or you want more information about, please let me know. I'd be happy to chat in the comments or make another video about any of the resources that you saw. Thank you for joining me today at our homeschool table, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.